You know, addictions, it changes everything, the way you think. I didn't even care that I had kids, really, when I was getting high, which is sad to say.
Drug addicts like Alan Hemans make up about 95% of county inmates across the nation. And for many who end up at the Pike County Correctional Facility, the slamming of a cell door is an all too familiar sound.
This time, I'm going to be here for 6 months.
In America, about 78% of inmates that are released from jail will eventually return. But for many who serve a sentence in Pike County, that return rate is less than 26%.
People see Abraham Lincoln in this one.
Ed Schaffner is just one of over 80 volunteers in the Pike County Jail who offer inmates somewhat of an unorthodox way of counseling.
What happens is sometimes a calmness comes over a person, and that calmness can help them get through a difficult situation.
Ed uses these pictures of clouds to help inmates find spiritual enlightenment.
This one's a bunch of souls going up to heaven.
His methods of counseling have helped dozens of former inmates like Christina Johnson get out of jail and stay out.
He showed me these pictures, which really actually opened me up to make sure that I wasn't afraid to say who I was and what I seen.
Thanks to Ed's counseling, Christina is now over 300 days sober. And according to Ed, Alcoholics Anonymous is now taking note of his success rate. But as for new inmates like Alan Hemans, the unorthodox counseling methods are still hard to grasp. But at this point, he's ready to try anything that may help him to turn his life around.
Yeah, I'd say this time around, I'm trying to use the programs to change.
Now, cloud gazing is only one of many programs the Pike County Correctional Facility is using to reduce their recidivism rate. Tomorrow, we'll take a look at other programs and what the jail is doing to help other correctional facilities reduce their recidivism rate. In Pike County, John Bartel, News 13.
There's definitely a flaw in the system to where offenders, their punishment is incarceration. It's not to be punished once they're here.
As we learned in the last segment of Reducing Recidivism, the Pike County Correctional Facility has managed to lower their inmate return rate from the national average of 78% to a staggeringly low rate of 26%.
I made her a hat already. It's right here.
And believe it or not, but they contribute that rate to one of the 80-plus volunteer-based reintegration programs like this looming and sewing class.
Anybody can do this. I mean, we have several facilities a year come here to see what we do.
While incarcerated, inmates rack up room and board fees of $10 a day, but by working in the jail or doing community service, those fees are waived.
So while we're sitting in here, our fines are diminishing, because I believe that's one of why the recidivism rate is so high, because of money.
But work privileges aren't just given to inmates. First, they must go through what's called the ARROW program, which is several months of counseling provided by volunteers like Mike Neal.
Judges now take a look at what the ARROW program has done, and they are now mandating people to the program.
Neal says the key to successfully integrating an inmate into society is keeping their minds occupied with hope and positive influences to recovery. And because the average incarceration costs taxpayers over $8,500, what volunteers instill on these inmates could, in essence, be a major savings to the county.
I'm only sober when I'm in jail, and that's why I have to take everything that I learned and the relationships that I have formed over this and bring it to the outside.
So when an inmate gets to walk out of these doors, how does it make you feel when they don't actually get to come back?
It really makes you feel like you're making a difference here. Like when you show up to work every day, I think most people kind of just go, they get into the daily grind of what they have to do. But here it's really, when you don't see them come back, you know you did something right.
And it's that feeling of accomplishment that the warden hopes will attract more volunteers.
The numbers don't lie, and you know what? We keep an open mind, and I really have not said no to any program or any individual that came in and said, this is what I'm capable of doing.
In Pike County, John Bartel, News 13.